Welcome, and in this video we are back. It lives! It's back on the road again. I learned how to speak 5 other languages.
French, German, Spanish, Italian, Russian.
And I ponder over an empty garage.
Well, the garage is empty. Okay, so we are back after a week in Gran Canaria, which was really nice, I must say. I'm nicely tanned. So, back to the car, which has been left sitting for a week, and I did disconnect the battery. I should be fed up hearing the last 2-3 videos. Disconnected it, just in case there was a drain, and I did take one of my subscribers' advice. You'll know who you are if you're watching. And I upgraded my equipment, so I had a clamp meter that didn't really work. And I had a little 5 amp digital voltmeter, and I've upgraded it. I've got a 10 amp one, and I've connected it in series to the battery, so the positive cable is connected to the negative cable of the car, and the negative cable of the voltmeter, I've just clamped it onto the negative terminal of the battery. It's been sitting now for approximately, what's that, half an hour, and gradually this reading has dropped. It's kind of sat steady at 250 milliamps. 5 minutes later it dropped to 150. 5 minutes later it dropped to 100, or just 100, just over 100. You see it fluctuating up and down there, and it's kind of sat at 100 milliamps for the last wee while. So 50, I believe, is the kind of happy number, 50 or below, for a current draw on the car. So this little meter has given me a more accurate reading than the rubbishy clamp meter that I used before, which would suggest we still have an issue. Now I do have the trunk locked. I've got the key in there so I can pop it open, so the car thinks it is closed, and this is reading just about twice as much as it should. Just crept up a bit there for some reason. Anyway, so we do have a slight current drain. Now someone comment below that to me isn't a huge drain. I have taken the light out of the trunk again. We do have the light in the centre console and the light in the glove box, which I'll check, but it's not a massive drain, but still it's a drain nonetheless. So I will check all the fuses and I'll go through them one by one, but of course to do that I need to hook the battery back up and move the seat forward because I left it in the driver's position. So, slight drain still, probably not enough to drain it over a night or two, I wouldn't have said, but we'll check it nonetheless and we'll see what's going on. But thank you, Mr. Subscriber, who you know who you are. I have upgraded this in a relatively cheap off Amazon. Well, it was a 10 amp one. The one I had before was a wee cheapy nasty from Halfords. It was only a 5 amp, which would have blown because when I first connected it, it did go up over 5 amps. And the PSE pump powered up. So cool, let's crack on and we'll find this and we'll see if we can get this number to drop to a happy one. Well now, that was easy. Doing absolutely nothing and just waiting just over half an hour, it has now dropped to 40 milliamps, fluctuating between 40 and 50, so it must be sitting at high 40s, and that is pretty good. So that means that is within parameters of being a happy draw on this car, which is really good news because I was about to just hook up the battery and start checking fuses and checking everything, but I did suspect after my last test there wasn't a drain, and this one, you can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but this is an acceptable drain on this car. So I'm on the 10 amp setting on the multimeter, got it plugged in the red into the 10 amp port, and 0.04 is 40 milliamps, which is good. And that has taken, just for anyone trying this at home, that has taken over half an hour to reach that number since I shut the car up. So that is a pretty long period of time. If I'd sat and done the test after 15 minutes, I'd have thought it was twice the draw that there should have been, but that is now sitting at a level that I'm pretty happy with as being acceptable for this car. So it's fluctuating between 4 and 5, kind of resting. It would go to a 6, right? I'm doing this bit, wouldn't it? it's resting at 4 most of the time, which is 40 milliamps. So that's it. There's no draw coming from that a fuse is going to tell me any different. Well, the garage is empty because I sold the SL. I had to go, just couldn't fix it. Oh no, I didn't. There, it's there. It's back. We are back in business, and I just got it out in time to enjoy the remainder of the summer. As you can see, it's absolutely peeing down. Can't get the roof off at all, but we'll go a drive nonetheless because it's been so long. The car's been sitting in here, I've been faffing about for ages with batteries and valve cover gaskets and various bits and pieces on it. So hopefully it'll dry up later on in the week and we'll get going with the top down once more before the summer officially comes to an end. But we do have a little toy here to play with. So Topdon, get a view of that. Topdon have very kindly sent me this battery tester. It's the ARC Battery 101. You can get it on Amazon, but I'll leave a link below to the Topdon website so you can have a look at it yourself. So they very kindly sent me this to test because they saw my last video, and I'm going to give that a shot on the 2 batteries on the Mercedes SL. I know the back one should read good because it's just new and it's holding charge at 12.6 volts, and we'll try the starter battery as well. Quite a good bit of kit this. It's does the AGM batteries as well, so that'll do the one in the trunk. And we're going to, when I've got that, we're going to test the batteries in the other Mercedes over there, which we're thinking about trading in, and the big boy, whose battery is in the trunk. It actually has been sitting for about 2 to 3 weeks, I would say, not moving. We went on holiday and stuff and it just sat there, so his battery might be a little bit down. So yeah, we'll give this a shot. This is an excellent bit of kit from what I've read and what I've seen, so let's go and do that. Okay, so I've hooked up the little battery tester. You can't quite get the clamps around the terminals, they're just not big enough, so I've just hooked them on to the bolts on each terminal. They just don't open wide enough to go right round the terminals in the car. They would be if the battery was out the car, but they're not, so not big enough to do it when it's on the car. And I'm not disconnecting this again, it's been off and on too many times. So this little device is purely powered by the battery. There's no battery within it at all. It's powered by the car battery. So when you connect it, it comes up with this screen. You just hit OK. There's 3 options for testing the battery in this. There's a regular battery test, so it'll just test the voltage of it and what charge it's currently at. There's a cranking test, which I'll probably use for the battery in the front of the car, and a charging test. And then you can set your language, etc. through this. It's got about French, German, Spanish, Italian, Russian, and we'll leave it in English, obviously. And I don't know what about does. It gives you the serial number of the device. So what we'll do this one is we'll do a regular battery test, and we'll see what the result is. This is a brand new Varta battery, so it should be good. So choices here are regular flooded battery, AGM flat plate, AGM spiral, gel, or EFB. So this is an AGM battery. I'm pretty sure it's a flat plate one. So we'll select option 2. For the one in the front, I would select regular flooded. Hit OK, and input is cold cranking amps. Hit OK, and I've set this one to 760 cold cranking amps, which is what's on the battery there. You can move this up or down if yours is less or more. And you hit OK, and it goes into the testing phase, and it takes a few seconds to come back with the test. There we are. Battery test. Healthy, 100%, 777 cold cranking amps. It says the charge is at 85%, which is 12.51 volts, which is fine because when you open this car,
it does use a little bit of the voltage for the PSC pump to come on, plus this little light's on, so that's okay. We have a good battery rating, so that's good. Very, very easy to do, gives you peace of mind. If you do have an issue with your battery at the back, I would suggest getting one of these little devices just to plug it in, and it allows you to double check that you're not wasting £250 on a new battery. When you hit OK, it goes back. So the cranking test and the charging test, you start the car engine to do them, so we'll do that shortly. And just disconnect this by the negative cable off. You'll see that it shuts down straight away. There we are. Good. Don't forget to put back our cover. Good boy. Alright, so we're now hooked up to the front battery of the Mercedes SL, and this one, just do exactly the same again. We'll do the battery voltage test first, so hit OK with the battery test. This time it's regular flooded that we'll pick, and go cranking amps again, and this time we are, you see that 360 CCA. So you just hold down the down arrow to get to 360. Hit OK, let it do its stuff. There we go, good battery, 100% charge, we're good to go. So this time we'll do, I expect both of these to be good as well. We'll do a cranking test. So it says start engine. We've got 29 seconds to do it. Could do with a helper for this bit. We're up to 2.5. 1, 2. Charging normal. This is a very good battery from Hamilton's. Just hit OK. Now you can go to review data. It just gives you the screen again for the battery test. So there we go, great little bit of kit. If you watched my previous videos, I wish I had one of these to test the old AGM battery that I had to replace in the boot, because I did test it myself, but it took a long time with the C-Tech charger. I did put in a considerable amount of time try to confirm if it was indeed a dud battery, and this would have done it in seconds. So it comes with an instruction leaflet, basically tells you to do everything that I've shown you, and it comes with the leads attached to it as well. Nice and simple to use. Highly recommend picking one up, especially if you've got a Mercedes SL, because the battery in the back in particular is quite expensive. So there we have it, good little bit of kit that I'm going to be keeping and using regularly. And the next video, I don't know whether I'll do this yet, because probably going to be this repair here. But I do want to drive the car for a while and keep it outside. Look, the sun's coming out. The sun is coming out. And that's the weather that the Mercedes SL loves. Oh, look at that, there's blue sky. It's still summer. We're going to get and drive it for a wee while. It needs a good wash. I might do a detailing video on it because it's pretty filthy. And what I did do was I put on some cheap tyre gel, which is spun off and completely caked the wheels, which is not the best. So may have to do a quick detailing video next. But thanks for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.